Hello. We are back. Welcome back to the show, everyone. It's your boy Mo, and we are here. We are back with the official last card of the UFC. I'm talking about UFC Fight Night, ESPN 73. This will be the last UFC for 6 weeks straight. We will no longer be watching fights for six weeks. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That echo was bothering me. I had the speakers on. No fights for 6 weeks. Good card, man. Like I said, dude, lately the UFC has been putting on some good cards. I'm honestly, all right, dude, look, I struggled to make this 20 to 30 minutes. I mean, I started trying to shoot for 40, but I'm going to really try to speed run through this. And I'm only going to talk about a few fights. So now I'm just going to talk about the fights I care about. And, yeah, 1 second. And I'm going to try to do my best to not ramble. I have a problem with rambling, guys. I'm going to ramble this one time, though. I think I pissed off my neighbors. Yeah. Dude, they pissed me off, man. They like, the way that my apartments are set up is it's like for every 4 units, there's like one laundry room, you know? It's like a small complex, right? And so it's one laundry room, one laundry machine, one dryer. So apparently my neighbor didn't want to wait for me to come get my clothes out the dryer, and they took it out and just put it in the hamper. Pissed me off because I don't like people touching my stuff, bro. So, you know, and I get it. Maybe she was waiting. It wasn't like too long because we have an app and it tells you on my phone, you know, when my clothes was ready. I just was in the middle of something. So anyways, I did lag it like 10, 15 minutes, but it wasn't like 30. She took it out. I was pissed off. So I fucking turned off her fucking dryer. That bitch is about to have some fucking wet ass clothes when she comes back. Suck a fucking D. Oh man, I gotta edit all that out. A lot of cussing in the beginning. Sorry, dude. Your boy Mo has a dark side, dude. I'm sorry. I get angry sometimes. Anyways, UFC 73, man. This card had some heat, off-putting judging. There's some odd judging, and a lot of vet versus new blood. You know, ending the year with some debuts and some veterans getting put to sleep, or not put to sleep, but that's usually what happens. We'll get into that part. Before we get into all that, though, one thing I want to talk about, because I forgot to talk about it last time, was the Joanna Jedrzejczyk beef with Jamahal Hill. I don't know if you guys have seen what's been going on, but there is some crazy clash with the two. Apparently at the last UFC event, not the one that happened on the fight night, but the one before that, the actual pay-per-view card. Joanna got into it to Jamahal Hill, and reports said that it was like beef between Joanna and Jamahal Hill's girlfriend, and supposedly she was threatening Jamahal Hill's girlfriend. That ended up not being true. What really happened, and it's kind of funny, this is coming from Jamahal Hill, dude. He came with receipts and all that, text messages and whatnot. According to Jamahal Hill, what had happened was he had hit up Joanna like a year ago because they were both in New York at the same time, right? They were doing some other stuff, but they were both in New York, right? So he had hit her up because he was going to he wanted to smash, bro. He was shooting his shot, right? My boy was like, yeah, you know, let's see what's up, dude. I'm going to shoot my shot. So he hit her up, and she seemed like she was kind of down. And they did end up meeting up eventually, and they hung out, but nothing happened, right? Joanna, she's Polish. The Polish people, they're not like that. They're not like Americans. They don't just hoe around like we do. You know, understandably, all good though. Jamahal Hill, he didn't take it personally. He just was like, cool, I shot my shot. That was the end of it. You know, he went home and he just didn't see her for like a whole year. But they were pretty cordial. Like, he showed text messages after and everything was cool. They seemed like they were friends, you know. They communicated with each other throughout the year. Apparently, Joanna, I guess she didn't know that Jamahal Hill had a girlfriend. And I don't know the relationship with Jamahal Hill. I don't know if it's like an open relationship or if he just cheats on her and she gets over it. I don't know. I don't ask questions, right? So Joanna isn't into that stuff. She basically was like, I'm Polish and we don't do that, you know? But what set her off the most was Joanna's manager. Joanna's manager started going around saying that Jamahal Hill was saying that he slept with Joanna, which is not true. He never said that. There's text messages that show he never said that. And I don't think he's the type of dude to say that he did that, you know? I don't know, though. I don't know the guy personally, you know? Anyway, so that upset Joanna, and Joanna thought that he was now saying that had slept with her. So I think that's where the confrontation happened at the UFC event. So to clear the air, it kind of seems like Joanna, her manager, kind of set her up, and I don't know, maybe she did it on purpose. Maybe she's trying to get some clicks. I don't know. Keep Joanna relevant now that she's retired. I don't know. But that is what happened. Guys, you heard it not first because I forgot to report on it. I spaced so hard. Like after I recorded the last episode, I was like, damn it, I forgot to bring up the Joanna stuff. And there I go with another ramble. That's already 10 minutes almost. But anyways, so let's get into it. The first fight I want to talk about is this man. I always got to bring this man up every time I see him fight. He is a California native. Exciting fighter to watch, mainly because he's a striker. I know I favor the striker. I'm sorry. And his personality is freaking hilarious, dude. He's from California and he's funny as hell. You know who I'm talking about, Mr. King Green, formerly known as Bobby Green. It's so hard for me to call him King Green. I don't know why he did that. I get it. What's up, King? Cool. Like, man, you've been Bobby Green for like the entire, your entire UFC career to me. But anyways, I will try to respect him. I respect people. Call them whatever they want to be called, and I think that if you change your name to King or whatever, Power Ranger, I don't know, whatever you want to call yourself, I think I have to respect it. I have to call you that, and so I'm going to try to refer to Bobby Green as King Green as his legal name. All right. But anyways, he's getting into the ring. He's fighting Lance Gibson. This is a catch weight. This was also a short notice fight. This is like what I was talking about earlier about those those debuts fighting the veterans. This was one of those. Lance Gibson, he's coming in. He's got a 9-1 record, only one loss. Like I said, he's coming in with this is his UFC debut. He's overall good MMA fighter. Like he's got a pretty decent skill set. I saw some of his previous fights when I was getting ready for this episode. So he's a good all-around striker, good fundamentals. He's been training martial arts for a very long time. He's strong. He's very, very hard. Good technique. And he's very aggressive. King Green, he's coming in with the 32-17-1 record. We all know Bobby Green, man. That guy puts on a freaking show. He comes out there hands down, sliding his head around like he's boxing, but he's doing it in MMA. His jiu-jitsu is okay. He did get a submission win against Tony Ferguson. That's the last submission win I can think of. I think that was also his first submission win. And I think it was it a guillotine or like a darce or something? I don't remember. It was some type of neck choke. But he's mostly a striker. He loves to talk that smack while he's fighting. Whoever was on the commentator, Lauren, whatever, she talked about a fight with Jalen Turner and King Green, and I just started dying. I was like literally dying. That would be so funny. I don't think they're like close in weight, but that'd be so hilarious. But anyways, King Green, like I said, love this dude's personality is A1. Always talking crap. Always loose. Always entertaining, dude. His fights, they're usually cool. They're usually good fights, and sometimes they're not so good fights. Sometimes he's just outclassed, It's kind of hit and miss, but most of the times it's hit though. He's cool. He's a good boxer, and he's got like I said, a few submissions. But Gibson, like I said, short notice fight. Don't know much about him other than like this quick research I did preparing for this. Sorry, dude. The more I cuss, the more I gotta edit out, bro. Preparing for this episode, but he looked good. He looked solid. I don't know why Bobby Green's kind of a tough name, but I guess it's cool because it's like Gibson actually does have like grappling. I don't know if he was like a high school wrestler or a college wrestler, but he does have decent grappling. So I was like, he could probably use that to hopefully exploit Bobby Green's weakness on the ground. But anyways, right off the bat, first round, Bobby Green, he's fighting like we know him, hands down, super loose, very disrespectful, talking all the crap in the world. Gibson, when the round started, he showed he didn't come to play. He opened up with a hard low kick. Very smart against Bobby Green. Bobby Green, he likes to move around. He likes to put his hands down. And it's like from a defensive standpoint, it sucks for your head. But having your hands down is good for protecting your body, and it's good for stuffing takedowns. That's why Bobby Green, it's really hard to take Bobby Green down. I think prior to this fight, he was taken down only twice. I can't remember who took him down, dude. It was one of the Dagestani guys he fought. But he's got really good takedown defense. And part of it is because his hands down. Yeah, Gibson, he opens up with some low kicks. He's very aggressive. There's a fight between who's taking the center. Good push and pull. They're both pushing for the center. Bobby, You already know this guy. He's unorthodox, bro. He's throwing, like, one of the things he did, he threw a jab. He's already in his like boxing stance, all hunched over. He threw like a jab from the southpaw, and then he threw like a side kick from the same side. I actually do that, but I do that mostly to get people out the way. Like if I'm fighting like or if I'm sparring against a heavy boxer with good hands, I'm like just doing that to create space so they're not coming in on me, you know. But yeah, so that was interesting. I actually saw him throw a lot more kicks this fight than I've ever actually seen him before. But yeah, Gibson, he's coming in way more traditional. You know, he's very tucked. He's got a tight guard. He's landing very, very hard. Every time he swings, he lands hard. He's the cleaner fighter than Bobby Green for sure. In that first round, it was kind of even, but towards the middle to the end of the fight, I would say King Green started kind of doing enough to win that first round. Yeah, that's in my opinion. Yeah, that's my opinion. End of round one, Green started kind of pulling away just a little bit, not by much, dude. But Gibson did hit him with some good strikes. Like I said, Gibson's the more stronger fighter, and he's more technical. He's just like everything's kind of more textbook. But yeah, round two, Gibson, he just kind of seemed like he started struggling with Bobby's style, dude. I called him Bobby, with King's style. It was hard. It started getting hard for him to read him. You know, I think in the first round he just kind of went in there without thinking, and towards the second, and then when the second round started, he was like trying to take his reads and kind of like download Green, and he just couldn't. Green was so elusive. He should have went back to attacking the legs, man, or the body, bro. When you have a guy that fights with his hands down and he moves around and he's like, you know, fast twitch, attack the legs and attack the body. The legs are the easiest because when you're moving around, switching stances and stuff, your legs are open. Yeah. Oh, and clench work too. I think Gibson, I was like, he has good clench work. I saw his stuff in the past. He's good on the ground. So I was like, what? Bobby Green keeps moving. You can't hit his head. Put him against the fence and attack, get his takedown, or just knees and elbows. But something to slow him down. Gibson just looked frozen at times, bro. I don't know if it was like because it was his debut and he was nervous. I think this was at the Apex though. So I'm like, damn, bro, if the nerves got you at the Apex, like, you know, good luck when they hit like Madison Square or something. He took a nut shot in round two, I believe. And I don't think it was that hard. I can't remember. It didn't look too hard for me from the angle. I'm not saying he should have taken the break, but I feel like Gibson needed the break to clear his head than he needed it to clear the pain in his nuts. You know, I think he needed to kind of like take a breath and reevaluate what's going on and see what changes he can make. When Gibson was landing, I'm telling you, he was landing hard, bro. That first round, he looked good. In the second round, he landed a couple punches and he looked good. Even like when he would kick hard. He secured a takedown eventually in round two, and he had 2 minutes and 40 seconds left in the round. That's where you see him get more comfortable. He's more loose. He's more elusive. He's more like everything just seems more confident. Green had a hard time getting up, man. He eventually did get back up. Gibson like basically kept chasing him down, and he got the single leg. The second time he couldn't get him down, but like, I mean, the clench work was there, you know. Bobby Green's hard to take down though, honestly. So I was kind of impressed when he took him down that first time. I was like, ooh, that's actually crazy. You know, that's interesting. Yeah, dude. The other thing with Gibson is he waits too much, dude. He was kind of just frozen, and it's almost like he's looking for opportunities, but it's like, bro, you got to get in there and you got to make the opportunities, right? Round three. This is when King Green comes on. He's fighting with his hands down. He's sliding in and out. Like I said, talking that crap, slipping his head and throwing like looping punches over the top, dude. It was just pure chaos, dude. Green catches Gibson's kick. Gibson throws a body kick and Green catches it. And he turns it into a takedown. He lands on top in north-south position, and he just starts landing bombs in north-south. Boom, boom, to the ribs. Fight ends. This is round three. I mean, it ended because of time. Bobby Green gets a split decision. Split decision, by the way. And which is interesting because the way I saw the fight, I gave Bobby King Green round one and round three. Round one just barely. The judges, I don't think any judge gave him round one, but some gave him round two, which was interesting to me because I thought he lost round two. Maybe I'm just not remembering it right, but tough on the judges. There was a Japanese judge. He just had his shit off up, bro. I can't remember. I'll put his name right here, but dude. Yeah, we need to like implement. I think we should implement the AI judges. PFL does it. I think it's cool. Let's get the AI judges just for funsies. It doesn't have to count for anything, but just so we could see if the judges are on some ish, you know? And I'd like to have like a crowd judging too, where people can come in and put out their score just for funsies, you know, just to see. How much do the judges actually know, baby? But anyways, King Green, he gets it by split decision. Yeah, what a fight, man. That was a good fight. Let me get my weed ready. I'm going to try to wait to smoke till I get like halfway done because otherwise I'm just gonna slow down. We don't want that. Anyways, so the next fight I want to talk about, Yaroslav Amosov versus Neil Magny. Man, I freaking wanted to see this fight because I love Neil Magny. He's like, style is not really like my style, but it's like, I like watching him when he wins, dude. And he's interesting, especially when he gets people in the clinch. You know, he's pretty dominant in the clinch, knees and stuff, lengthy. Amosov, he's got a record of 28-1. He's the former Bellator champ. Was he actually former Bellator champ? Let me see. I don't know if I got that right. Let me ask my assistant here. I don't think I don't remember why I wrote that. I don't think that's true. Was Yaroslav Amosov the Bellator champion?
Yes, Yaroslav Amosov was indeed the Bellator welterweight champion. He held the title for a while and was undefeated in his MMA career until he took a break due to personal reasons. If you want more details, just let me know.
Nope, thank you. Okay, see, I do research, guys. See, I do look into things before I start hitting record. I try to know things, you know. I do try, but I do forget. But yeah, so Amosov uses a Bellator champ in welterweight. I guess he was undefeated. I mean, he has a one loss, but maybe it wasn't in Bellator. Yeah, so this guy was coming in. He's a pretty dude. He's a pretty like crazy with it, man. I saw some of his fights in Bellator, and this dude like was the dude. He's Ukrainian, so I think that issue she was talking about, I'm pretty sure that was because the freaking war happened. I wonder if is Amosov that guy that was Amosov that fighter that like got his belt that he out of the rubble. I mean, let me look this up. I wonder if it was this guy. Oh yeah, damn. I gotta include this clip. That's freaking crazy because I just clicked right now. Yeah, Amosov. He was in the beginning of the Ukraine-Russia war. He's obviously, it's everyone's mandatory military service in Ukraine at that, I think right now. So he was out there doing his thing and he went back to his house to get his Bellator belt. And so there's a video of him coming out of like, I don't know, like, what do you call that space underneath your house? Crawl space, I guess. I don't know, basement. He's coming out of his like crawl space with his Bellator belt. And I totally forgot. Yeah, that was that guy. So anyway, so he's fighting Neil Magny. Neil Magny's coming in 31-14. Magny is the veteran. Amosov, he is debuting in the UFC. So, like I said, a lot of debuts this fight. Introducing new contenders for the beginning of next year. Smart move for Dana White. But you know, Amosov, he comes forward. He just shoots the low kicks. He really is not fearing Neil Magny. He's very confident in the cage. He shoots for a takedown early on. Magny defends it. He defended it pretty easily, and he kind of pushes him away. And Magny throws a couple straight punches, you know, for the trouble. Amosov, he goes straight to a body lock, or like basically after that takedown gets stuffed. He gets the takedown this time, and you know, Magny is, dude, he's long as hell, dude. So he's like tough to control. He's like framing, he's creating random spaces that most people can't just because his limbs are so long, his waist is so long. Like Amosov does a good job at becoming like, he's almost like a rock when he gets you down. He's really tight and he just weighs down on you, but he was having a hard time controlling Magny, you know. Amosov, you know, he transitions off. Dude, he's like, it's pretty, dude, this is pretty clean, dude. Like, Neil Magny, he's like framing off of him, and Amosov kind of like moves to the side, and he basically puts Neil Magny in Anaconda. Before Neil Magny can realize what's going on, it's already synced in. Neil Magny ends up having to tap. The fight ends first round one submission winners Amosov. This is the second Anaconda in a row that Amosov has gotten. That's pretty impressive. So obviously this is something he trains for a lot. Really exciting and really interesting to see what he has in terms of the future of the UFC. I mean, damn, you know, first round finish is cool, dude. Should I light a joint to that? Yeah, I'll light a joint to that because I'm gonna keep this quick. We're already halfway done, baby. We only got like 2 more fights to talk about. I'm telling you, I'm gonna change, man. No more wasting your guys' time. 20 to 30 minutes, baby. That's our freaking, that's what we're going for, baby. 20 to 30 minutes. I'm listening to a lot of Christmas music lately, you know, not because I'm forced to, because I freaking want to. That's the difference between me and you guys. You guys are forced to listen to the Christmas music. I hate it. I do it purposely. I love it. But not that crap that you listen on to the radio, bro. I'm not trying to hear Mariah Carey's version of whatever the song she's singing. Santa Claus is coming to Christmas. Wow, dude, I'm fading. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to hear that Mariah Carey Christmas song, all right? You know what I do like, though? You know what is a good one? The NSYNC Christmas album, Merry Freaking Christmas. That song is the absolute banger. I've been hearing some like AI Christmas songs that have been sounding pretty good, too. There's a Radiohead AI Christmas song. It's Santa Claus is coming to town. So that's the next fight we're going to get into. Giga Chikadze versus Kevin Vellogos. Giga Chikadze, I love this guy. I've been watching him fight for forever. I remember when he fought for Glory. I remember when he fought for Infusion. He's just a crazy kickboxer, you know. Dude, I had his records. So I thought I wrote down his kickboxing record. I think I forgot to write it on this page. But anyways, Giga Chikadze, like I said, he was a pretty crazy kickboxer back in the day when he fought for Glory. His striking was pretty much feared. Lately, all right. So let me just start from the top, dude. Yeah, Giga Chikadze, he's coming in. He's got a 15-5 MMA record. Like I said, elite kickboxer, Glory, Infusion veteran. Kevin Vellogos, he's 16-1. This man is barely 24 years old. New blood savage, 16-1. That's basically only one loss, bro. That is literally one loss. So, like I said, let's be real, bro. The UFC, they feed veterans to the prospects. That's just how it happens. This card had a few of those. Every card, I feel like I see it more often than in the past. It's always at least one card is a veteran getting fed to the prospect. And Giga, he just drew the short straw here. That's just what happened. Giga's, you know, his kickboxing record, I believe, if I remember off the top of my head, it was like 38-12. I think I got that right. Should I check that out? I think I got that right. But let me see if my remembering brain is good. What is Giga Chikadze's kickboxing record?
Giga Chikadze, originally a kickboxer, has a record of 38 wins and 12 losses, with 22 of those wins by knockout. He had notable victories like his KO over Victor Pinto at Glory 37. He later transitioned to MMA, where as of December 2025, he holds a record of 15 wins and 6 losses. His most recent MMA bout was a knockout loss.
Shut up! She already told you. Damn it, ChatGPT is so good, dude. 38-12, dude, and however many knockouts, with 22 knockouts, this dude was a savage with the striking. Unfortunately, the problem is he's a lot older now. He's in his late 30s. I believe he's like 38 or something. He just had absolute wars. He freaking fought in, you know, Glory. He trained with the Dutch, so he did a lot of that Dutch kickboxing, which is so. I was literally just talking about this. I forgot who I was talking with this yesterday. Oh, actually. With the Cali fight game pullout guy, that Dutch style, it's just so hard on your body, dude. It's a lot of just catch and return, you know? So you're just blocking and eating stuff and returning. Not good for your chin. His chin is weak now. He literally freaking gets touched to the jaw and he dies. Just like Alistair over him, same thing happened with Alistair. And Alistair also came from a kickboxing background. I think he fought in Glory. I'm not sure I think he was also an Infusion in some other kickboxing events or promotions, but yeah, his chin just doesn't work anymore. It's glass chin. And the other problem is he's like slower to read people now. I don't know if he just, because he naturally slowed down or what, but he just I don't know. He's just gun shy now, it seems like. But yeah, round one, it starts off slow, you know. There was a lot of feints from Giga, stance switches from Giga. Vellogos really wasn't doing much. He was kind of showed up and just kind of waiting to explode when Giga would miss. It was pretty smart because it's like, honestly, Vallejo, he was a lot shorter than Giga, and I'll include the stats right here. I can't remember off the top of my head, but he was way shorter than Giga. So he's pretty short for that. He's small for that division. He's stocky, but he's kind of, you know, yoked and in shape. Round one, though, after a little bit, Giga starts fighting his rhythm. You know, he starts throwing a lot of left body kicks. He throws like a left body kick and then a straight punch off the same side. And then he throws another left body kick. And then he basically ends that combo with the knee and they kind of just clench up. It was probably the biggest combo of that round. But unfortunately, like literally right after this happened, Vellogos, he throws a low kick and Giga checks it and it cracks open Giga's shin, dude. I don't know what the hell happened. I don't know if Giga already had a previous injury or Vellogos just a freaking, I don't know, check his knees, dude. He might have a steel rod, baby. But yeah, Giga's shin gets busted open. It's bleeding like crazy. I was like, damn, I wonder, I was like, it could be broken or something. It's bleeding so bad, dude. But yeah, like I said, they showed the replay and it was off a check. I honestly, I didn't realize it was off a check. I thought it was when he threw that left body kick or something. Maybe he hit an elbow, but they play the replay, which is freaking awesome. They do it mid-fight now with that small little window. And I like that. Makes me feel like we're watching the NFL kind of. But yeah, Giga, he cuts his shin open. It's gushing blood, and it's almost like a freaking response to the cut. He just starts using it more. He just starts slamming that left kick. He's in a southpaw, slamming the left kick to the body, to the leg. It's almost like he's purposely trying. And I think he really was. I think he was trying to show Vallejo that he's not hurt. He's like, even though I'm bleeding, he's like, I'm not hurt, right? So round 2, Giga kept smashing with that leg. Like, honestly, he brought through most of his legs off that damaged leg. Vallejos, he didn't really do a lot at the beginning of most of that round 2. He kind of was just like standing there. Like I said, he's a shorter fighter. He's got to learn to use angles, bro. You're fighting a taller guy. This guy's a kickboxer, so he knows how to fight long. He's using a lot of kicks. In my opinion, if I was a Vallejos, I would have worked like my angles, like stepping off to the side, like constantly, even if I'm not in the range, dude, just constantly circling out one way. Just not like, honestly, what I like to do when someone's taller is I try to do like a push-pull method. Like I'm circling around him, and then I'm attacking and I'm hopping out, and then I'm trying to like time them when they come in with something, and then I'm going to use another long strike, like a teep, a side kick or something, or kick the leg and try to exit out again. That's my strategy, because I do fight a lot of taller, or I do spar with a lot of taller people like Drew or something. But then I don't know, or it happens, bro. Freaking Vallejos, he throws pressure. Giga steps in. No, I'm sorry. Vallejos, he rushes forward. Giga tries to sidestep to his left, and then Vallejos throws a spinning backhand into the same direction that Giga is sidestepping in, and it just lands clean on his jaw, dude, and it's lights out, dude. Spectacular knockout. Literally, as I was talking, like when I wrote about the angles, I was thinking that in my head, like, why is this fool not using angles or some, or like long attacks like teeps or something, And then he just charges forward, spinning backhand, bam. I think he threw like a cross or a fake, and then boom, spinning backhand, gets Giga. Giga goes down, bro. I was so sad. It was so sad to watch Giga go down like that. I think it's time to wrap the gloves up. Giga, he's opening up a kickboxing gym in Orange County, I think, or Southern California. It's going to be called Giga Kick. I think he should focus on that, baby. I'm going to go check it out, though. Should be opening soon. Giga, please don't be mad at me. I love you. I think you should take your health, seriously. But yeah, Giga, that's like, I believe that's the first KO loss of Giga's career. I'm not sure so they said that in the announcement. I don't know if they meant like in MMA or ever. That's pretty crazy if he's never been knocked out in all those kickboxing matches. I mean, honestly, it was cool. I mean, the round was, I thought he was going to get mollywopped. I saw Vallejos fight before. I was like, oh, Vallejos is going to probably walk through this dude just based off of Giga's previous, recent fights. But, honestly, he showed some grit, and he showed that he still has like a lot of technical skill. But I just think it still might be his end, man. That it might be the end for him. Like I said, just run the kickboxing gym, focus on that, and let your brain recover. That happens. It happens to the best of us, dude. I've been battling a lot with like trying not to spar at all. It's been so many years sparring and just training hard, bro. It's like I feel like I don't want to be brain dead. I don't know. Yeah, I might interview another fighter, a UFC veteran that is possibly showing signs of CTE. I don't know why I do these. Oh, I gotta stop doing these, man. They break my heart. Fuck, dude, I don't know if I should do this one. Anyways, I'll figure it out, guys. I'm just venting. I'll probably cut that out. My own internal brain thinking to itself. Back to the topics, though. This next fight, I'm gonna talk about Cezary Almeida versus Cezary Oleksiejczuk. I can't pronounce that last name. This is a middleweight fight. The second dude, Cezary, I'm just gonna go by his first name. I don't know what he is, Russian or something. This is another classic kickboxer versus MMA fight. Cezary Almeida, he was a kickboxer prior to getting into MMA. By the way, I know you guys are going to cook me in the comments on that Cezary's last name, that pronunciation. I already know. Go ahead. It's been a frequent thing on my page. Hey, man, like I said, I can't say these names, bro. I'm just smoking weed, bro. I'm just trying to smoke weed and talk about fights, bro. I'm sorry if I butcher these guys' name. You know what I'm saying? But Almeida, bro, he's coming in. He's 37 years old, bro. He's old, right? I mean, in fighting age. Cezary, he's barely 25 years old. He's 6'3", and he's Polish. They live a hard life. 6'3" is crazy. I don't know. Pretty big age gap. Another issue is, like I said, Almeida, he was a former kickboxer before getting into MMA. It's going to be tough because this full Cezary, he's more of a grappler. That's kind of like his strength. So he's just older. The skill isn't completely polished. He doesn't have a polished skill set. It was I don't know. I was interested because Almeida is a pretty heavy striker. So, anyways, round one, Cezary, he's using his length. He's he's pretty much staying on the outside. He ends up getting like a double leg takedown pretty early on. Almeida, he's pretty calm under pressure, but like he just can't do anything once he's on top. There's like no scrambling, no defending. He's just kind of like accepting it. That's kind of basically most of round one. Round two, Almeida comes out. He's super aggressive this time. He's throwing some hard body kicks. He's backing Cezary up. It's basically that whole first round he spent on his back for the most part. There's definitely a gap in the grappling skill, and Cezary exposed that, and once he was able to expose that, he became a lot more comfortable throughout the fight. Round two, though, Almeida, he knew he was down around. And like I said, he's landing a lot of body kicks, dude. It's kind of interesting because normally you wouldn't throw body kicks on the grappler because the grappler will just grab it and take you down. But then it's like the skill set and striking is so much further in Almeida's side. It's like he can throw him without telegraphing it, and he can throw him hard. So it's like anytime he throws him, Cezary, he's either got to block it or he eats it, and it kind of like, he has to take a step back because it's like super heavy. Cezary, though, he knows what to do. He just shoots and gets a takedown. Almeida, there's chances for when he's on the ground. There's some moments where I felt like Almeida could have like used to get back to his feet, with a scramble or just by, moving and maybe bettering his position. He didn't really see it though, honestly. And I'm not like even good at jiu-jitsu or anything, but I was like seeing that like, damn, he could get out right there. He could try to, sweep right there. He eventually does get a sweep pretty late into the round and then like gets reversed again. He gets a sweep, and right when he gets the sweep, he ends up on top, and I'm like screaming, I'm like, bro, Almeida, you got to get up. You got to move. Get your legs out of there and don't even play with this guard, right? Literally, as I'm saying there, he kind of falls back and then he gets swept. And now he's on the ground. Just reverse immediately. A bad decision for him, thinking too hard or just thinking that he can even stand on the ground. It just was dumb. Round three, it's just the same story. Almeida, he's landing good kicks, but Cezary again takes him down. Just rides out the round. Dominant fight for Cezary. Bad fight for Almeida. I was kind of like, should I even talk about this fight? Because it's kind of boring to me. But whatever. I don't know. I started writing about it, so I just said, fuck it, let's just go. Almeida needs to do some grappling work. He's 37. It's going to be tough, dude, but I don't know. Maybe he's not going to be champ, but he could put on some exciting fights. If I was him, I would work my grappling defense and then just try to take the big fights and knock people out and just try to make a lot of money, some Derek Lewis. Yeah, and then for Cezary, my thoughts on that guy. I don't know, man. I felt like he didn't do anything, bro. He had control, but it's like he didn't try to end the fight. He wasn't looking for strikes. He wasn't looking for submissions. He would throw a couple strikes and then go back to just position, and securing position. You know what I mean? He just was more concerned with keeping Almeida on the ground. I don't like that, dude. You know how I feel, but again, this is the era of the Dagestani wrestling, so this is what we're going to see, and more people are going to start implementing that style of fighting. I guess it's kind of like the 90s, bro, like the Pat Miletich days. They did a lot of that, but I felt like those days were more exciting because they would take you down and freaking punch your face in. But yeah, so anyways, let's get into the main event. Brandon Royval versus Manel Kape. Man, I was excited for this fight. I feel like not a lot of people talked about it. It kind of got slept on, at least in my opinion. Could be the holidays. Could be because it followed like a banger card last week, But yeah, there wasn't a lot of fights or a lot of talk about this fight. Brandon Royval, he challenged Pantoja for the belt. He kind of got mollywopped. He also challenged him and Joshua Van, who's currently has the belt in the division, in the flyweight division. They also scrapped, and Joshua Van beat him by decision, if I'm not mistaken. But, Brandon Royval, he's up there. He's a top contender. He's definitely top 5. I think he's ranked I forgot. I didn't even write the rankings this time. I tried to do it quick. But he's ranked top 3, I think. Good fighter, long fighter, good boxing, good jiu-jitsu, fights long, very, a lot of volume. He's got a lot of volume, but it's kind of like more of a Nate Diaz type thing. So it's short combinations like ones and poking you. Kind of the opposite of Manel Kape. Manel Kape, this guy is a dog, bro. This guy came from Ryzen. I remember seeing him fight in Ryzen. I forgot who he fought. I think he fought this other Japanese cat that he's in the UFC. Asakura. Was it Asakura, the dude that broke everyone's face? They fight? I think they fought, and that's when I can't remember, bro. Anyways, Manel Kape, I remember him from Ryzen. This dude was a savage. He had the belt out there. he's very explosive fighter, an elite striker. He currently lives in Thailand. If I'm not mistaken, I could have that wrong, but I could have sworn I saw that he currently lives in Thailand. That this guy is all about the striking. He's got good wrestling and like jiu-jitsu. I don't know if it's because of technique or if it's just physical attributes. He's just so explosive and fast, dude, and just strong. So, anyways, Manel Kape, he's got a 21-7 record. Brandon Royval, he's got a 17-8 record. On paper, this was a good fight. Honestly, like the records aren't too far apart. I mean, I guess if you get really into it, though, Manel Kape, he was the champion in Ryzen, so that probably means something. I guess you got to ask yourself: does the champion in Ryzen, is he like just as good as like the top 5 guys in the UFC? Because I don't think the champion for champion, I don't know. I think UFC has the better champions, right? But what about like top 5? I don't know. Anyways, so good fight on paper. Round 1, Royval, he's staying on the outside. He understands the game plan. He's like, I need to stay on the outside, stay long. I can't get in there with Manel Kape. Manel Kape has knockout power. He throws very strong combinations. He's quick. He'll jump into the pocket quickly, and he'll have like a 4 or 5 piece combo. You probably would get knocked out by like the third, and there's just 2 more for the show, But yeah, so he's staying on the outside, throwing a lot of hard body kicks. I don't remember Brandon Royval throwing a lot of kicks. I could be mistaken, but I thought he was a heavy boxer, a lot of jabs and crosses and stuff. But yeah, he was out there throwing a lot of kicks. Very good game plan. Keep stronger fighter on the outside. Use your long thing attacks, teeps, kicks. A lot of left kicks. From southpaw. Round 1, Royval did something weird. He kind of like shook off his foot, and looked at it. I don't know if it's because he stepped on something and it like maybe blood, or if he like hurt his toe. He might have like thrown a left kick and it got blocked, and maybe he broke a toe. Towards the end of the round, Manel Kape just explodes out of nowhere, and he explodes into a southpaw. He throws a left hook. Royval goes down. Kape follows it up with a couple punches. Ref steps in and he ends it. That's it, bro. That's how the fight went down. Literally, like Manel Kape, baby. I'm at a loss of words. But yeah, I knew Manel Kape coming into the UFC. I was like, this guy, like, dude, this guy's a savage, man. When you cannot leave openings when you fight this dude. I knew when he came into the UFC, I was like, things are going to get wild, dude. This guy is crazy. Like, for the division, he's so strong. He's got so many knockouts, dude. His takedown defense is good, I don't know. What does the future hold for Manel Kape? So check it out. Like, Joshua Van, he's got the belt. I think Joshua Van and Manel Kape would be an excellent fight. They're both great strikers. That would be so exciting, I think. I think it'd end up probably becoming a grappling match, and I'd be curious to see who's the better grappler. I think that what's that Japanese guy's name? Tara. I think Tara's next, right? It's unfortunate because I feel like Manel Kape probably deserves like a title shot next. If Van would have lost to Pantoja, I think it would have made sense to have Manel. Wait, are they in the same weight class? I think they're in the same weight class, right? Was it flyweight? Yeah. All right, cool. I don't know. I'm tripping. I'm high. I just smoked again, dude. I just stay high. I think Manel Kape should have gotten the opportunity to fight for the belt. It kind of sucks because he should have had some type of hype coming in with being like the Ryzen champion. I don't know, but yeah, now it's all muddied up, bro. So what, should there be like an elimination round between Kape and what was that other guy's name? Tara? That'd be cool. I'd be down for an elimination. You know what? But the only thing is, I think they should have Tara fight Joshua Van, because then you could have like an all Asian card, and you can do it in like the Philippines or something. Go do it at like the Mall of Asia, like in the biggest mall in Asia, I think, or a big stadium, or Japan. Do it at Saitama Arena or something that's like 30,000 or something. I think that's a good opportunity for that. So I'm gonna go with the business move, and I'm gonna say let the Japanese and the what is Van? He's Burmese, right? He's from Myanmar now, right? So I think they still call him Burmese, right? He's Burmese, and let the Burmese fight the Japanese and make it call it Jungle Asian versus whatever other, what would you call it? Japanese Asian Honda? I don't know. Jungle Asian versus not Jungle Asian. Let's freaking go. Manel Kape, unfortunately, I think he got away in the sidelines. I think Manel Kape fights whoever wins. And those are my thoughts, my predictions, and probably some names I pronounced wrong. Sorry, guys. As always, thanks for watching. I'm Mo. I hope I kept this under 40 minutes. If not, then I'm sorry. Goodbye.